Morning, everybody. I'm Melissa Nielsen with Walter Essentials. Happy New Year! I hope that you are starting today. This is like a Monday and the first day of the year. I want you to be like, this is a year like full of possibilities, and it starts with today. It starts with today. So I was thinking this morning, as I was getting ready, I was thinking about my I say often, I quote Lucy Montgomery from Anne of Green Gables when she says, like, tomorrow is all fresh with no mistakes in it. Well, guess what? This year is all fresh with no mistakes in it right now. Right now it is. And so I want you to think today, what will you do today that will impact the rest of the year? And maybe it's as simple as, a goal that you're going to set today. And I'm not a huge, like, resolutions gal. I mean, I am a huge goal gal. Not a huge resolutions gal because resolutions feel kind of different. Goals feel like something that's attainable. And so when I set myself a goal, I really think about it. I think about, like, what is it that I want to gain from the goal? Is it something that I'll gain, or is it something that'll be like a family gain? Is it, and I look at the whole thing. I go, what is it just something that I want? Like a material thing, or is it something that I want to experience, or is it, so I look at it from all angles, just because I really want to, if this is something that I really want, like something that I want to either obtain or purchase, then, or change about myself, then it really deserves like my attention to really like look at it and examine it and sort of look at where my big feelings are about it, where they're coming from. So when I set out a goal, those are the things that I do, and I really look at, okay, so what steps do I have to do to like get me there? Because it's just a dream if you don't put it down on paper or put it down on the computer or whatever it is that you do for your process. It's just a dream otherwise if you don't put it down and actually make actionable steps to get there. And so I'm going to challenge you for that today, even if it's just one thing. Good morning, Jill. Happy New Year. Even if it's just one thing. And good morning, Lewis. I see you there too. But even if it's just one thing that you pick that you want to do for the year, and you're going to start, maybe it's, maybe it's getting up before your kids. Maybe it's getting into bed at a good time tonight. Maybe it's wrangling bedtime with your kids, finally. Getting a bedtime in a good, healthy place. And we're actually going to do a little webinar on bedtime here very soon because it keeps coming back to me like I need to do it. So it's going to happen. Maybe it's spending today getting your house clean so that your house feels good for the rest of the week and for the rest of the year. So pick one thing today, or pick three things, if you're in that space to be able to pick three things or five things, but really, if you're not, start with just one. Start with one thing. And that one thing, decide today that that's going to be your one thing. Like I was having this like list in my head last night of things. Like for me, I am really, really, really trying to master German. And it is nicht sehr gut a lot of days. And so, but that is because I don't practice every single day. So that's not a resolution per se. My goal for the end of the year is to have for the end of 2018, is to be done with the Duolingo German and really be able to hold a conversation with my dear friend Michaela in German. And not feel like I'm, falling down or like I have to grab my Google Translate. And so, that's my goal. And in order to get to that goal, I have, like things I have to do to get to that goal. So, I have to plan that out. That means I have to do something about that really every single day. That means that my Duolingo streak has to be like every single day. It has to be like 365 days at the end of the year. And I did so good, man. I had like a 180-day streak going, and then I got sick. And then it was easy to go, screw it. Already missed. I had 180 days going, and then I got sick. So my goal is to not go to that place. So look at simple goals. Simple goals often build bigger ones. So, when I think about things that I want to accomplish for the year, again, it's not a resolution. It's a goal. It's a goal for maybe as I put it down and I put action steps to it. Good morning, Amanda. Happy New Year to you too. So think about that today. Some people might be in a little party hangover from last night. I can relate, only in that I stayed up way too late. And so I'm going to be heading back to have a little nap at some point today, but not before I have a plan for the day. Because I know that if I don't have a plan, that pretty soon it'll be 4 o'clock and I'll be like, crap, where the heck did the day go? So, I'm going to make a plan. So what plan do you have for today? Have you decided where that's going to go today? How you're going to make the use of this very first day of the year? You decided what it is that you and your family, or even just you, what rituals you can put in place for yourself. I really want you to think about for this year, if you're not already, really think about your personal rhythm, something that you're doing in the morning for you and something you're doing in the evening for you. Because remember, at the end of the day, regardless of, whether you are a stay-at-home homeschooling mom that, follows Waldorf Essentials in that capacity, or maybe you're somebody that follows me and you don't stay at home, regardless of who you are, you deserve to remember who you are at your core, and that doesn't often have a whole lot to do with the rest of your day. It's about you checking in with you first thing in the day, and you checking in with you again at the end of the day. And that's a really big piece of inner work and rhythm about just like what are your own personal rhythms? What things do you need to put into place for yourself? Like I said, for me, one of those pieces is I know I need to do my German lesson in the morning, because if I wait and do it until I get ready for bed, I'm not in a great place, because usually I'm tired and I don't do very well and I don't retain it as much. So I know that about myself. I know that there has to be in that morning ritual of mine to spend that 20 minutes to do my German lesson and really feel good about myself. There's other habits too, definitely. I do Pilates twice a week and I absolutely love it. And when I don't go, I had a stroke a few years ago. When I don't go, my joints hurt really bad. And so it's been really good for that. So another one of my goals this year is to not miss a day of Pilates. So like, how do I do that? Well, I got to make sure that I always have the money to, to put that first, to put that ahead of maybe something else that's frivolous in our budget, because that I need to have for my own personal health. Other things that I do for myself, I get a haircut every 2 weeks, and people might go, oh, well, your hair's so short. Well, that's why I like it short. I like to keep it short. It feels comfortable that way. And when I go every 2 weeks, it doesn't cost as much as if I go every 6 weeks. And so I look at all of the big picture. So what my goals are and what my own personal rhythm is. So if you haven't done those things for yourself, if you've gotten caught up in just being, oh, I'm just a mom, I'm in management mode, I'm not thinking about anybody's needs, or not thinking about my own needs, just thinking about everybody else, I want you to spend today thinking about your own stuff. The goal that I want you to set shouldn't be, and granted, you can have family goals for sure, but this goal that I want you to set today should be about you. It should be about you. And even if it's like one of the things on my list, like seriously in my habits, in my journal, one of the things is knitting every day. Because when I knit every day, I feel really good. It centers me, it grounds me, it reminds me of the things that I do that I love. And so think about that. Think about that when you're working on that one goal piece that's for you today. And like I said, maybe you'll be able to come up with 5 that you'll be able to do every day and make daily habits that you're at least working towards. But even if you can just do one is what I want you to focus on. If more than one overwhelms you, if one overwhelms you, I want you to go, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to think about what one thing I could do for me today. What one thing for the rest of the year that I can really focus on for me. So think about that today. Also, obviously we're starting back to school this week. So if you're homeschooling, I want you to be able to be excited about getting back to school. So like for me, one of the things that's on my to-do list today is to, make sure that our lessons are in order for the rest of the week. That's something that I usually do on Sunday, but we sort of had an extra family fun day yesterday. So that's on my plate today because it needs to be done. And so I'll be looking at that. We're embarking on some new things with our 6-year-old. And so, I want to make sure that we've got some things in place for all of those things in place. And so today's kind of my day to do that. And it's a good thing that today a lot of things are closed, so I have to stay home and I have to sort of do that regrouping, because otherwise I might be like, hey, let's go do this. So it's kind of a good thing. This is regrouping day. So I'm also going to clean my house today. And I realized I have a much smaller house than a lot of people, so it's not going to take me very long. But it was really funny when Sam went to bed last night. I was talking about our word of the year, and he goes, "Ooh, is that like the word of the day?" Because we always sort of tease the word of the day is, like, for my 20-year-old, sometimes it's the word of the day is job, and it's not now because he has a good job, but you know, sometimes we tease about that. And so he says to me last night, Sam says, "So I think the word of tomorrow is clean because this house is filthy." I said, "Oh yes, it is. Thank you for noticing, because that means you're going to be right on that cleaning team with me." And so that's what the main goal of today is, to clean up, and so that we feel good about the rest of the week and everything that's coming, and can sort of look at the day in a wonderful way. And we'll do something like go on a nice walk and enjoy the beach again today. I know some of you saw our pictures from yesterday as we were saying goodbye to the last low tide of the year. We had so much fun when we go to the tide pools, and so that was a fun way for us to, sort of send off the year, and came home and made a nice, amazing dinner. If you do not own an Instant Pot, I am telling you, you need to acquire one in 2018. I made the most amazing pot roast last night. Holy cow. Anyway, just little tidbits about my life that you might not want to know. But so no, today one of the things that we'll do, we'll get our house all clean and spick and span, and then we'll probably go for a nice long walk along the beach. So I love to collect seashells. We did bring home some critters last night that will need to be re-released today. We do that every now and again so that they can look at things up close, and we're really super careful. And we sort of have some budding marine biologists in our house, and so it's kind of fun to do that. But so we'll be returning some friends. I don't know if you saw my post. We have named the hermit crabs Fred and Barney, and so I named one Steve. And so Fred, Barney, and Steve will go back to the tide pools today, and we probably won't bring home any more critters for a little while. They like to do that. They would love to do that all the time, but see, I'm the one who has to be responsible for them. And so I really only want to do that when I'm ready to be responsible for them for a day or so. So anyway, we'll be doing that today, going on a nice walk. So what will you do today? What will you do? I hope you will tell me in the comments of the video. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to tell me in the comments too. What is it that you did on January 1st that really set the tone for your year? And set the tone for sort of what it is that you want 2018 to be. You know, I've heard a lot of people, and myself included, they were done with 2017. I was so done. Yes, we had some good things that happened. My son came home. We hadn't seen him in 2 years. So we were really excited to see him. We had some good things that happened, but man, 2017 felt very heavy for the Nielsen's. We were so glad to kick it to the curb last night. So glad. And here we are, 2018, a brand new year. There's energy that comes with it. This good energy. So I'm hoping that you are feeling that today. And if you're not, if you're kind of in a down place, or maybe you're sick and can't do a whole lot, do what you can. Like I said, pick one thing. Just pick one thing. And even if you're looking around, maybe you're sick and your house is a mess and you just can't do anything about it. You know what, honey? I am so sorry. I wish I could come and hug you and help you clean up. Do pick the one thing and then work to get over it. And maybe that one thing is getting over your sickness and moving forward with that. I had this nasty cold a few weeks ago. I thought it was never going to end. And finally it did. And I mean, that's really the good thing about colds. They usually go away. So just definitely think about how you can feel better in the year. So let's see. Jill says, deep cleaning and organizing. Little houses and winter gear are not a good combo. Oh my goodness. Yeah, when we lived in cold places, we always had bigger houses. And it's because there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. There's a lot of stuff living by the beach. There's you should see my porch. That's another thing we're cleaning today. Because I was looking at my porch going, what the heck? Who lives here? A bunch of teenagers that just surf all day? So I got to clean it up because it's a big mess, but it's the same. It's gear. And we have a small space and don't have a lot of space for gear. So IKEA is probably on my shopping list this week. Yeah, just because they're cheap. Anyway, So the word of the year, for those of you who have been wanting to know, and we're going to make some graphics for this. Eleanor has painted a beautiful painting, but it's not totally finished. She's making some finishing touches on it. So the word of the year is agent. So we're going to have some graphics that we will have printables that you can print out. Maybe asking yourself, am I being an agent or am I being an object? And just some fun things that you can print out, cut out, and put around your house to help remind you to be an agent this year, and help remind you to be, to really be able to take charge of your time and your space, and to not be an object, and to remind yourself not to be an object. And if you're listening to me and you've never heard me talk about agent or object before, please go back and see one of our agent or object videos. We have a couple of them here. Just sort of scroll through. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's a playlist called Melissa's Monday Videos, and you can find it there. Also, I want to tell y'all, we are on Patreon now, and we will put the link to our Patreon page in the comments. And so for those of you who really love our videos, I get people ask me all the time, you do so much, how can we support you? Honestly, we set up the Patreon account for just that we want to do more videos. We want to do, but it takes time, like creation time, away from me doing other things. So you're going to see us automate some things this year. You're going to see us expand things that we're asking Miss Kelly, our wonderful assistant, to do. And you might see us bring on even another person. That's our hope, that we can bring on somebody else too, that we have two women that are working strong for us. It's because we have a lot of things we want to do this year, and those things are possible when people help support us. So definitely, if you're interested in supporting us, if you like our Monday videos and you want to give us a shout out and some support, please see our Patreon account. Like I said, we'll put that in the comments here in the Facebook Live video, and if you're watching us on YouTube in the downloads, we'll have that in the comments there too. So let's see. I'm going to catch some more comments here. Let's see. When Mom says she's doing a nature walk to feed the chickadees from your hands. Oh, that's so fun. Visiting family for a game day and some journaling. Yes, ma'am, your intentions. I spent yesterday, I was really cranky when I went to church yesterday. Really cranky. I think I was just really ready for the year to be over. And so I sat down and I just journaled through church. I felt so much better afterwards. So much better. Such a weight lifted. Journaling can do so much for you sometimes. When we have so much angst going on, I don't know about you guys, but it's like it doesn't stop. And it just keeps going and going. And I have to either take some GABA to get my brain to slow down a little bit, which I do on a regular basis. Or I really like the doTERRA Serenity Soft Gels. I'll take those too because I like my brain slow down. I do that, and I have to, I did that before I went to church yesterday. And I sat in church and I journaled, because getting it out of my head and onto paper or onto something that's not in my head really helps with the processing part of it. It really allows you to then look at it and go, whew, that was all in my head. That was a lot of space. Now I can put it in boxes and compartmentalize a little bit and think about one thing at a time. So it's super helpful to do some journaling. Let's see. Reading through comments. Here's some more. No. Didn't want to do that. The new controls on here are weird. And I'm like, okay, I think I got everybody. The word, somebody says the word for the year is really what? Somebody else said what their word for the year is. Hold on. Oh, yes. You like the word of the year, Amanda? Yes, I'm glad it speaks to you. Sorry, I was looking through there. There's a bunch of comments, and you guys are commenting. That's great. And I didn't want to miss any of them. And the way it's set up when you do a live video, if it's set up portrait or landscape, then the comments it's harder to get to them. When I do it the other way, it doesn't look as pretty when we do in the replay, and it just puts me in a box like this, but the comments are easier to get to. So, pros and cons. Anyways, so yes, the word of the year is agent. So be an agent for yourself. Think about it today. That one goal will help you become an agent. Just this one. But again, if you can do more, do more. If you want to tell us about them, I'd love to hear about your goals. We'll have a spot on our on the page later today where you can tell us about your goals for the new year. Again, resolutions are different. People will set up resolutions and they'll just be like, oh, I want to, like a silly one for me. I want to not swear in 2018. Dang it, I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Usually really good, but sometimes my mouth just flies and it's not okay. And Soraya will say, Mom, say pizza instead. So, on that note, oh my pizza, let's have a good year. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, let's do this. Let's do this 2018 thing and let's have a good time with it. Let's find things that we love about it because it's brand new, all fresh with no mistakes in it. So be an agent, come up with your one thing, and enjoy your day. Bye now. Happy New Year.